It's Meet Me for Coffee. Today I'm sitting down with CJ Pierce from Drowning Pool, a band that's been holding it down in rock for over 2 decades. We're going to be talking about the early days, tours, and fancy stories that changed everything and what's next for the band. CJ, how's it going, man?
Going great, man. Busier now than ever in my entire life. I didn't know it was going to be like that. But they say busy is good. I'm like, busy just makes me tired. You know,
Yeah, I mean, when you have kids running
I'm
around
just,
and doing the music thing. It's like, how am I doing this, right? But would you've been
yeah.
holding it down in Drowning Pool for a long time now? Did you ever imagine the band would be still this active after all these years?
Dude, it's been such a roller coaster ride for us, like many bands, just between the business side and band members. I mean, for us, unfortunately, Dave Williams passed away in 2002 from cardiomyopathy. He had heart disease.
Mm.
It's been a great ride there. Like rock fans are amazing. We were, playing so many shows. The last 3 years has been so busy again with Ryan McCombs back in the band. And I just love music, bro. All of us have been friends since high school. It's wild that Mike and Stevie and myself have been friends since then, and we still play music together with all the, like I said, the ups and downs, you roll with the punches. But I'm really excited. Tomorrow we're actually going to go in the studio and finish up the new songs for the next Drownful record. So I'm literally going in tomorrow. So I'm really hyped right now about
Yeah,
those.
man. What time do you have to be there? You might need to get some sleep at some point.
So, we get to place at 4 tomorrow. I'm gonna duck out for a little bit because I do this thing on Thursday nights here when I'm not touring. I do like an acoustic set with my wife, and we do these cover songs and have fun with that. Then I'll pop back in. But yeah, man, the next week, the next 10 days, we're just gonna get down and nail down the rest of the music for the next record. So I'm really excited about that.
It still excites you getting on stage and making music in 2026, eh?
Dude, I love it, man. It's been, like I said, quite the ride. This past weekend was pretty nuts. We played in Vegas at Fremont Street Experience on Friday. And then Saturday, I was late to the airport. It never happened in my entire life. Missed the flight. I get on the flight. I land 10 minutes before we go on stage. I get to the stage, plug everything in at the Oyster Bake in San Antonio, and lightning strikes, starts raining. So they postponed the show for like an hour and a half, and that tension builds. And I made it to the show, because I was late, first time in my life, and start checking everything, making the noise, and that roar, that crowd, just like the show was happening. I love that, man. Whether it's 10 people or 10,000 people, man, came and get down and play rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah, 10 people, 10,000 people.
Uh,
One of my favorite bands is 10 Years. Do you have any stories about those guys?
I have some great stories about 10 years, man. Oh my God, I love those dudes. We just played with them a few months ago, and we're been buds for years, and so it was wild. So we're playing in West Virginia. Got the name of the club, and they had this band, 10 years open up for us, and they were supposed to do a showcase for a label, and the label people got there late. So after we played our show, they had to reset up, like I'm talking like 1 o'clock in the morning, man, and play for a label, and they got signed. And a few months later, we took them out on tour with us, man. And at that time, it was my heyday. I was still, you know, Dimebag, Vinnie Paul, just getting down on it, Texas style. And I got those dudes super trash, rock and roll. And here we are, still playing music together, man. Great songs, dude. I love 10 years.
Yeah, they're
Amazing
they're
musicians.
one of the most underrated bands of the 2000s, I think. And I just saw them live the first time ever, and I've been like raving about them for like 2 decades. And it's like, wow, this is so good. It sounds like exactly like I thought it was gonna sound. So
Yeah.
it's
You're
amazing.
right, they're underrated, man. They're one of the bands, they're very original and they stand out to me, but they should be, you know, next echelon. Like them and Chevelle, I would put at whatever level that is. That's what that'd be. But we've been talking to them about touring together again.
Oh, you
So
guys got
great
it.
guy.
And they have this new song Gravity that they played. I have a recording. Man, it's unreal. His voice is just killer.
It's a great voice. And he used to have these long, crazy dreads.
Yeah, they got the dreads
I'm just
going.
all the show in Florida is coming back to me now. This poor guy, man. We're going shot for shot, but at that time my tolerance was pretty high. So sorry, brother. But she's still
No,
alive. He's still here.
yeah, man. They're all doing well and they look great. And they were on tour with Mammoth as well. And that was a pretty cool show. And I just want to ask you, I know one of your biggest songs is Bodies, right? When Bodies blew up, did it feel like instant on on your end, or did it just creep up over time? Like I know I've seen it
It,
on like many like even wrestling stuff too. I remember seeing it,
it,
right?
it's wild, man. Mike and I, Mike Luce, my drummer, and I were in New Orleans, trying to get a band going. Stevie was here in Texas, last year of high school. We came over here to Dallas, and that's when we got together. And, kind of started out as like a, heavy, funky groove song. And then we got Dave Williams and we put the metal on it. And, we played a show. The first time we played it live was a place called Zeppelin's in Metairie, Louisiana. And my mom was at the show. My mom's like, "Yeah, I really like this body song, man. That's pretty cool, right?" We feel like we had a good vibe with it, but I never knew, especially now, 25 years later, that it's been in a lot of places. Like it's a fun song, man. I love playing it. I can't wait to play it every night. Some bands get weird about the well-known song, but dude, I can't wait to get there. Like, there's parodies of the song. I write, sit here in my house and write my own parodies of my own song because it's just a fun song, man. It's a metal song. Um, and it just seems like it applies to everything, especially with wrestling. So, dude,
Yeah.
WrestleMania 18, I got to play that, dude. Nuts, dude.
Dude,
Like
I remember that, and like you never get tired of that song. Has it ever it's taken a whole new meaning for you over the years, right?
it's a whole new life to it. And it's I never knew just something simple like that, like the bicycle floor, would just have so many places that it fits, man. It's just mind blowing. But dude, we love playing it. It's one of my favorites. I can't lie.
And you guys also had that the Rise Up song that I remember was also on a theme song for the wrestling and stuff like that. How does that even like
Yeah.
get landed? Like how does the news get broken to you?
Well, back then, 2001, 2002, 2004, I think is when we did Rise Up. Don't quote me on years. I have no concept of time. But no, it was great. We did the Triple H theme song as well, the game. And man, I would love to play those songs again. We're doing a 25th anniversary tour, starting in June. We're going to be playing the whole center record, which I love. The fact that we get to do that again reminds me of that time frame. But, other songs to play as well. We did a handful of other songs with Dave Williams. And the game was one of them. I've had a few people ask us about that. And we had some fans, we do like a VIP thing on the bus and hang out and, you know, sh- you know, they got to see that, up close and personal there, but I would love to throw that into the set list. I'll call it Mike and Stevie and see what's happening.
Drowning Bull has gone through different vocalists. How did that shape the band creatively?
It definitely has a lot of effect on it. Mike, Stevie, and myself, with the core sound, we had Dave Williams, and then it was us three again. We had Jason Gong Jones, the Sensitized record, amazing record. We had a great time. He had such a great voice. And then, we got Ryan McCombs, man, with the self-titled record in Full Circle. And we had just a great relationship with Ryan. He's back in the band, obviously, now. And just at that time period when we, took a break, it was going to be 3 months or 13 years. I didn't get the memo. I guess it was 13 years, but we were just all going through a rough time at the time, at that moment. But dude, the last 3 years of my life have been like the greatest. We're writing songs together again. He actually stays right here in my studio. He actually sleeps right here. I call it the Ryan's Den when
Beautiful.
he's in town because he lives in the UK now. And it's just great to reconnect and write songs together again. It's been awesome, dude. We have so much on the plate. Starting tomorrow, we're going to go through all these ideas and narrow it down to what we're going to put on the next record. After we do this, anniversary tour.
That's amazing, man. Your riffs have a very distinct groove, but what's your approach when you're writing?
Writing now, it comes from so many different ways and angles. I mean, I grew up in New Orleans. There's a lot of jazz and blues. That's kind of the foundation. My dad was really big into Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin. So, that's where I started. I literally, Stairway to Heaven was the first song I ever learned how to play. I mean, come on. And got into metal, man. Metallica, Testament, those bands that shaped it. Force Pantera. I mean, dude, I can name bands forever. But as far as the writing process is concerned, it's different. Some days I like have a melody. Some days I'll have like a lyric idea, or or do a lot of stuff on the guitar. But the house I have like a home studio, so sometimes I just pick up the bass and do a lick, or get on the drums. It comes from different places. It's always very different, which I love. Keeps it fresh. So whatever I gravitate towards, that kind of sparks the interest of it. The idea. That's what I do.
And like you're chasing a heavier sound now or something more dynamic. How long is this album going to be? How many songs do you have?
Right now, man, it's there's so much on the table. We got heavier, especially with Jason Moreno on the last record. Strike a Nerve. There's a lot of great songs. We spent a lot of time on that record. We had extra time on it during COVID. because we recorded it right before that, so we sat on it. And that went in every direction. But we have Ryan back in the band, and it's just the thing with Ryan. Like we have heavier stuff, we got lighter stuff, we can do whatever, man. He's got this just his big boisterous voice. And again, he's like, he's the best friend, man. He fits right in with the band. Since Dave. I mean, he's the right guy for us.
That's a good feeling to have, man. What's a Drowning Pool song you think deserved way more attention than it got?
Oh man, that's a tough one. There's a couple of them. There's a song that I was working on after Dimebag, that whole situation happened, called "In Memory of." And then I realized that it kind of applied to everyone. So I have a song called "In Memory of." I love. There's another one. Dude, like I'm just going through the whole catalog. There's one that Stevie brought the idea called "Meet the Bullet," which is just kind of approaches the just the fact, like everybody just gravitates towards guns. It's nuts. It's like yelling, screaming at each other, like punch me in the face, punch in the face. The thing with the UK being over there, like those dudes are always ready to like settle it, like you know,
Like, man,
pocket and fist, like men, like don't cop out and use the gun and stuff. So that song's a deep one as well that didn't get that. I mean, it's a touchy subject, but settle like men, just talk it out. Like sit down and have a shot and let's talk about it. Instead of like pulling out the guns and the knives. God, there's so what else, dude. You know, um, Over My Head's a fun song. A lot of people kind of gravitate towards that one. Um, it's a deep one for me at the time that was going on stuff in my life. Dude, all of them. That's like, you're right what you feel in the moment. Like for us in Drowning Pool, we never try to chase a dream or try, it's never about the fame and the glory. It's, it's writing what you feel. It's our art, it's our music. And, that's how the songs come out, man.
yeah, man, it's about the feel. And you know what? I just gotta say this. You mentioned Dimebag a bit earlier there. I've really gotten into down in the last like few weeks. I don't know what it is. It's just like
You just now got into Down?
oh, I just
Bro.
revisited the NOLA
Oh,
record,
yeah.
and I've been going for these long drives. And like, this is actually a really good record, man. Like all this stuff
Dude, the
is so
sludgy.
good.
Oh, oh,
It's so
it's one
good,
of my favorites.
right? It's so good. And I just want to hear it live. And I don't know if I'd be able to at some point, but
Well, I do know some inside stuff because we're all friends with Butts. They
yeah.
are finishing up a new record and they're going to be touring here pretty soon. Did I say that? Oh my God, I didn't ask him.
The
All
groundbreaker.
right,
Hopefully the Gestapo doesn't break down my
yeah,
door now. Turn that shit off.
but
He,
don't tell everybody. No, man, dude, they're awesome. Dude, dude, his voice is just like, they're like the kings of metal, man. And Down with another one of my favorite bands, COC. I mean, it comes from New Orleans. It's like this southern kind of like, sludgy groove kind of vibe, and there's that in our music. But like you said earlier, we were talking about Seven Else, and just to have that high energy metal as well. Man, I love those dudes. I got to play Angel Song with them on Shiprock one year, and
oh
it was
yeah.
like I was so excited, and I was playing so fast, and the LJ's like, "Slow down." I'm like, "I'm just so excited." So
Slow down.
slow down, buddy.
Those guys, I think from all the reviews I've seen about other bands talking about Seven Dust, this is the band to go watch. Like you're even the bigger bands when Seven Dust opens up for them are sitting there watching the band perform from this side. Like
One
they're
of the most amazing live bands ever. The musicianship, dude, Morgan, like, it's nuts, man. We got to tour with them back in like was it '98 or '99? I have the VHS tape of us filming the shows back then. We went on tour with them, and it's just like the energy they bring to the stage, man. It's like none other. It's like so original, man. It's almost like when Led Zeppelin came out, like nothing was like that. That's they're
I
very
mean,
unique.
they're one of the bands that I thought that they should be way bigger than they are. It's like, how is this not one of the biggest bands in the world?
It's the business, and I'm not even going to get on that subject, but sometimes the business gives you the business, and we all fight that glorious fight. Um, we just want to have fun and meet all the fans and put on a great show. And
Yeah, man, touring and all that stuff like that. The reality of touring, like, what's the hardest part of staying on the road? And
dude,
the thing that fans don't see.
well, for me, especially the last couple of years, we're self-managed now, so all of us are, in the driver's seat, more responsible. We have a great team of, people at SBG Records, Shan and Sean. We created our own team. We've been on five, dude, bands. As a local band, you want to get signed, you want to get your art out there, and it's like we went through five different labels, dude, and just got super business from it. So we're in a great place now. Just for all the bands coming up, man, just stay in control of everything as much as you can. Spread out the love. Everybody in the band take a different role on and get it done. But yeah, the hardest thing now, because I mean they were all older, but family and stuff. It's hard being away from family. That's the hardest part of it. But it's part of what I do, man. I love entertaining. I love performing. I love meeting rock fans and new people. I'm always out watching a show. One of the things that got me to play music is I love being at a rock show. So not only do I get to play, but I get to see bands play every night. And Ryan McCombs, he's always making fun. Like we'll play 6 shows in a row and have a day off. And that day off, whatever town we in, I'll find out what band's playing and I'll go to the show. So I'm always out and about, man. I'm all about the music.
Yeah. Are you wearing earplugs at these shows too, or?
Well, recently I've never done it before because we don't really like have a lot of tracks and stuff like that. My drummer likes to play to a click and all. So I just recently put like, in ears and but I just go natural, man. We just play, it's just old school, plug in the amps, you know, tube amps and go for it.
That's a whole side to the industry that people just don't know about. It's whatever you're all those moments that you have on stage, like especially the bigger bands, they're almost like rehearsed, right?
Yeah, for us, it's very different every night. We change the set list up nightly, and also if somebody calls out a song, we'll play it. And then sometimes for fun, I'll just like throw something at my guys, and like we'll just go. I'll go into like another song that's not there. Sometimes Michael just do his own thing too, as you start playing drums or something else. Our show is like a glorified rehearsal room. It's fun though. Like we're having fun with it. We don't, we're serious about it. Like we're playing, but we're not too programmed. I mean, I respect that and I love that the big show, but I love that we keep it like natural and loosey goose, if you will, and we're very interactive with the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys have been together for quite. You were one of the most from the beginning of the band. You're from the beginning of the band. You have another member from the beginning of the band. Um,
Yeah.
what's something you would tell your younger self at the start of Drowning Pool, like that
I
you?
would probably tell myself to drink less.
Okay.
I mean, just because it's there it doesn't mean you have to drink it because it's free. Um, but I was always happy, always having fun. There's a good 10, maybe 15 years that was just kind of a blackout thing, but I saw the video and it'd be great. So it was cool.
Well, I mean, like, do you think people who are on tour just grab the alcohol because it's free, or just because you guys are so tired? How are you resting on the road?
There's no rest. There is none. Just naps. My whole life has been full of just naps, here and there.
You need a shirt that says "Naps," man. Naps.
I'm all about it, man. 30-minute nap and I'm good to go.
That's the way to be, man. That means you're a huge trooper. Like, what moment are you most proud of in your career?
Oh, man, there's been a couple. I mean, when we first took off with Dave Williams, it was pretty wild to again be a local band in Dallas, Texas, and there's so many great bands here and so many great friends, and any one of us could have got the name picked out of the hat, but we were very fortunate, lucky, right place, right time, right song. Um, and we took off. But one of the things that we've done, we went to Capitol Hill and helped get a bill passed. Um, it's a Lane Evans bill. And we went to 2005, 2006. We were going to Iraq and Kuwait during the war, and we're playing on live bases. But when the troops come home, there's a high suicide rate. I don't think anybody. I don't know, man. I don't. I'm a hippie. I'm a tree hugging hippie, bro. I don't want to. I don't even own a gun. I'm about having a good time and enjoying life. But for some of these troops, man, they come home and the suicide rate was pretty high. So we had a bunch of fans and helped sign this bill. Obama signed it to get better mental health care for our troops. So to help them work through it. And I think that was one of the biggest accomplishments with music that I've ever done.
It's amazing, man. Now to the other extreme. What's the closest you've ever come to quitting the band?
The closest I've ever come to Gwinnett Band, um, there's been rough moments, and I think all of us, it's been hard in certain aspects and areas, whether it's personal, the family, the business is definitely still giving us that business. But I'm not, obviously, not going to let it take away from my passion and, from my creativity. But there's never been a moment I ever thought I wouldn't play with Mike and Stevie. Never. That's my brothers for life.
It's a great way to look at it. What's the moment where everything went wrong and you still had to go on stage? Is there one of those?
Moments we're going, well, there's been, dude, all of us have taken turns being, having our day. It's an equal amount of fuckery over here. But there's been a couple of times I was lit on stage where the other guys were like, we don't do that now, of course, but and I push the limits. The thing is, you write the songs when you waste it, so when you waste it on stage, you play it perfectly. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But yeah, that's a couple of times that I stressed out my guys because I was extreme for a minute, especially after Diamond getting all that stuff. I felt like I had to carry this Texas torch of just like, come on, everybody, woo, drink, 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 drink. Um, so you know, but you don't have to be like that, man. You don't have to get lit up and wasted to have a good time.
And who was the craziest band to be on tour with back then in the beginning?
Wow, man, it's a lot of stories. John Moyer and myself, the bass player, just Sturb had some great moments together. One of the craziest, I have to say, Wes, Puddle Mud. He's famous for that anyway. But I had some great times with him, some hardcore parties. He's got a great voice. I love the guy.
Amazing
Um,
voice.
and we've done shows with him. I mean, we have a show coming up and like, sober and just does the acapella stuff. But there's other times when, we were just going hard, man. It's rock and roll.
They had that one record, Famous. I think it was the follow up to their first record. Holy cow, that was an amazing
Yeah.
album. Like, blew me out of the water, made me a Puddle Mud fan. As much as it sometimes hurts to say that, but their music is absolutely
No,
fantastic.
they're good. It's talented, man. It's awesome.
Like
It's crazy.
back in the 2000s wave, like did it feel like a competition between bands or just more like a brotherhood?
It's more like it's a brotherhood, totally. Like again, like today, like Soil and it's going out, Ryan's going out with Soil, and Non-Point. Um, they've been friends for life. It was just a special time. Like there was a lot of great bands, especially Ozzfest 2001 and 2002. Like every one of these new bands, like everybody just in their own right, just brought something amazing to the table. And I didn't know 25 years we would still make it happen. It goes up and down. People like this style or that style. But the show, the energy that we put on, it's like it was a great time, man. Everybody was in the pit. I mean, I just came up, and I see that again now. It was a time period when that kind of died down. Everybody's like, you can't jump in the club, whatever. But everybody's going nuts again, especially after COVID. So,
Who earned your respect immediately when you hit the road with them?
who is that?
Is there a band or some individual that earned your respect immediately when you hit the road with them?
Just like, well, dude, I've always been a Corn fan. We got to
Yeah, man.
play shows off and on with them. I'm a huge, huge Corn fan. Those guys are great, dude. Um, dude, I mean, Alice in Chains, freaking amazing. Les Claypool, Primus. I mean, come on, that dude's sick.
I think
Uh,
Korn is the loudest band I've ever heard in my life. The loudest
I
one.
saw them play at Tipitina's in front of like maybe 50 people way back in the day. And I got a cassette tape with four songs on it. That's when it started for me.
Holy cow.
And then I got to play with it, man. Like, we did a ship rock stuff. We used to have a thing called the Stowaways. And I did Roots, but Roots, it was just like all the bands that were playing on tour, we just do like a cover song, like a, all-star cover song. And, you know, I'm over here with Head and I'm like, we're playing Roots. So I'm looking over at him. So I mean, we just got down on it, man. It was like, what is my life?
What is my life? And after everything you went through in the band, like what has kept you like personally grounded after all these achievements and cool memories and stuff?
I think I've always been grinding, man. There's a thousand guitar players out there. Everybody's doing their own thing in their own right. It doesn't make just because you play this or play that, it doesn't make you better than anyone else. I've seen some bands, have that, hockey thing and look at me, you're big this week, you might not be big next week. I've gone through all that stuff, but growing up in New Orleans, in Texas, there's just a family vibe. We all just support each other. So, you know, that's my look on it. I mean, I just love music. I love it for this. I love entertaining. I love meeting rock fans. I love being at the rock show. So that's my life.
No,
all things
that's
collaborative.
amazing, brother. It's being in the brotherhood of like rock fans and being friends with other bands and do you guys ever bounce ideas off each other and like kind of like because I was talking about like super groups earlier today. Has that ever been proposed to you to be part of a super group at
Uh,
all?
more so now, I think the collaboration, which makes sense, and I wish we've done more of it in the past. The one that really kills me, Wayne with Saliva, because him and I, he was a peer to me, and like such a great guitar player, and we always talked about doing the song together, and he passed away, and it's like that really got me. So now it's like, we want to join up. We did a song with this band Sorry X coming up, and she's an amazing singer. We heard the songs like, let's jam out. So there's some stuff in the works and in the talks now to do some collaborations. But we want it to come naturally. Like the thing that we did just recently on um, Jimmy Fallon, man. It was like, that just came together naturally, man. With Offset, they wanted to use the sample of the extended device before, and it'd be like a rap version of it, and it just happened, man. We met up on a Sunday, rocked out together, and played the show on Monday, and it was awesome.
That's amazing. Like you'd think some of those shows are like almost like pre-recorded in the fact that you just I mean, I've seen it before where like
Yeah, so we didn't do that. So we walked in there, we plugged in and played because most bands and most people have the tracks. They were actually a little bit nervous about that because not a sound guy there. Like, look, we're playing live. Um, we don't run that stuff, man. Like plug and play, baby. My amp was on, mic, my drummer played, and they had like sample stuff in the background a little bit. But yeah, they sang that stuff, man. We did it live, and the vibe in that studio, man. Dude, Jimmy Fallon, everybody there in the whole camp was amazing. Super nice. They're there to entertain, and we got to put on a rap rock show. We were throwing chairs and everything, right? We tore it up, man. We did it for real.
that's insane. You guys have so many bangers, man. Besides Bodies, like there's Tearaway and Step Up and 37 Stitches and Feel Like I Do. Like
Yeah,
there's and like I'm looking at a lot of the accomplishments here. Obviously they're all massive breakouts and they're just mainstream rock tracks that people like recognize right away. And it's like sometimes I even like listen to most of your stuff in like one of those all like discography kind of playlists or something like that I
yeah,
always forget. It's like, yo, like whose song is this? And I go back and
yeah.
I'm like,
Who's singing right here?
yeah, it's like this is them too. It's like what? And it's like how much like, more is there for me to discover? And I'm really happy to know that there's a new album coming out because there's endless hours of more discovery for me and other rock fans out there.
Dude, it's been a great, like, again, I was here last night in my studio and just getting the rest of the stuff together. And, we're going to be playing the 25th anniversary, playing all the songs off the Center record and just revisiting that and hearing that and feeling it. It's like I'm influenced, by that era and that time. So I'm looking forward to, there's going to be a handful of songs that reflect that on the record. But it's been, dude, Ryan's been great. Ryan McCombs is awesome. Like I said, it's awesome having him back in the band, and it's great writing songs together again. It's just it's been easy and natural as it should be.
CJ, this has been awesome, man. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time, and I'm happy that you were able to join us on an episode, and hopefully we can have you back soon, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, dude. Appreciate it.